So, American politics is pretty messed up at this current moment. Um, the current president, Joe Biden, is really not doing that well. His approval rating is currently sitting at 38%, which is pretty bad considering the fact his disapproval rating is nearing 60%, which, especially in the year he's running for re election, that could be an issue for him. But maybe he'll be safe because his opponent is Donald Trump, who is either just as or more hated compared to him. This is kind of interesting, and if you look at the polls, it looks like almost a dead heat. And I really hate the fact that 538 has the polls like this. Why is Kennedy included in this poll? This graph looks so ugly. Look at the space between Kennedy and Biden and Trump. There's only two candidates that can win this election, but they have Kennedy in there. Like, why not just show him in the bigger version of the poll, or just include a version of the poll? Okay, I'm going on a tangent. Okay, but irregardless, this is rather interesting how this is now the second president in a row whose approval rating is pretty bad. I mean, this is like France levels of every president being just hated by everyone the moment they take office. And I think that it's kind of safe to say that the era of the popular president is over. In fact, I'm really certain at this point, well, not certain, but I'm becoming more and more confident each day that at least for the next several decades, you can pretty much expect a president to have an approval rating in like the net negatives by at least like 10% on average during their whole presidency. It's just hard to imagine that there's ever going to be a president who will truly be popular ever again. I mean, the days of the Reagans and the FDRs are just like, we're just far past those eras. And I think the biggest reason as to why this is starting to happen and more is, well, one part of it is that I think that Donald Trump's presidency was like the smoking gun for all of that. But honestly, this was starting to happen even before Trump. In fact, I think its starting point, if you really want to place one, probably happened at the end of Bush or during Obama, because even Obama himself as a president was never really that popular when you compare him to like presidents in the 80s or 90s. Like, he never really had an approval rating that stuck out that much. And I think that it took a little bit of time for it to manifest, for there to be a president that Americans would finally, it would break the cycle, and we would just be in an era where entering office, you would not immediately get a president who most Americans would say, let's give this guy the benefit of the doubt. I truly believe that that era is just completely gone at this point. Like, Trump was always relatively unpopular, but he was a very partisan president, so Republicans loved him and Democrats hated him. And then, of course, this dynamic reversed when Biden took office. And at first, it looked like Biden was going to do a little bit better than Trump because Democrats are unpopular along with Republicans. But typically speaking, Democrats have always been slightly more popular than Republicans. But even Biden, while he immediately, like, it looked like he was doing decent, that fell apart really quickly. And now he's unpopular with independents and Republicans, and he has Democrats the same way Trump had Republicans, but that's pretty much your ceiling at this point. I think the ceiling for any president going forward, on average, is going to be 45. And even that might be generous. I mean, I really think if, let's say, Trump gets the White House again, he's probably going to have a lower average approval rating than he did in his first term. And just ongoing and ongoing. It's like, I can't imagine a president at this current moment who will be able to make an approval rating like stay above water, not even like 50% or higher, like above water at all for more than maybe a few weeks at this point. And I think that America has just become way too divided for that, and that's kind of not a good thing because, well, there's a lot of issues with a divided country. I'm not doing the can't we all just get along thing because honestly, I think both parties deserve to be unpopular because they both have warranted people being mad at them. But the biggest reason as to why division is pretty bad is that there's probably no longer going to be a sustainable, like, margin of power that a president is going to have in Congress as a result of their waning popularity. Because as the 2022 midterm showed, it's probably going to be hard for a party to have a wave election where they have enough of an agenda or enough of a mandate to effectively push forward any laws that could shape the country. So we're in this really awkward position now where we're going to probably be seeing a very slim margin in Congress that's very divided and probably can't get anything done because of the filibuster, which makes it so a lot of laws need 60 Senate votes to pass, and good luck getting 10 senators of an opposing party to agree with the other party on pretty much anything. And it's just going to be really hard to get anything done. And what's going to happen is we're probably just going to have this like never-ending maddening cycle of nothing getting done and more unpopular presidents, which is kind of concerning in the long run of America, but you know, maybe we can be a little optimistic that one day we can overcome these trends. It is not going to happen with Robert F. Kennedy. Like, I don't even know why that guy's running. That guy is that guy's weird, and he's ruining the graph. So please remove him.